So now we're going to move through to the other side of the ajna. On the other side, it's receiving that pressure from the head center, and then it's like answering that pressure. And then it's going through the ajna to then further conceptualize and interpret that data. So first up, we're going to talk about gate 11, which is peace and the gate of ideas. It's part of collective circuitry, specifically abstract. So think that it links up with the emotional solar plexus and the storytelling side. And the gate 11, it links up to throat gate 56. And so we can see, if you look on the side with the graphic, that the 47's energy moves across the ajna to the 11. So that 64 is like the movie clips coming in. 47 is film editor who's like putting it together in a storyboard. And now it's like passing off that energy to gate 11, which is
the producer.
The producer to have all the ideas.
Yep, the producer. And 56 is the producer's bullhorn. So 11 is these ideas has this sort of concern in it that its ideas will darken, and that beautiful light, that glow, because each idea coming from a realization that moves through is like a ball of light. It's like God's light just came through. I realize this now. And it doesn't want that light to go dark. So so that becomes part of the experiential process of experience, the burning of the light staying lit. In fact, it's so funny, you got a light bulb there as a picture. So the ideas are fanciful, they're colorful, they're abstract, they can be anything, just like everything else we've discussed. The confusion can be about anything, the realizations and this oppressiveness to come to some kind of clarity, that it's always trying to come to clarity is what that channel is doing. And same with 11, it's trying to get clear, and it's like, oh yeah, this is the idea. Oh my God, what a great idea. And suddenly it wants to live out that idea. It wants to imagine that idea. That idea has not come to fruition yet, and it needs no proof. It's not a logical process. Logic may be sprinkled in with it. Oh, it's going to be a good idea because I figured it out, but it's still an abstract process. And because it's an abstract process, it can be punished if it does something that's stupid enough. And so gate 11 can find itself shutting up, just like 56, when it's not supposed to. Strategy and authority are so important for these two gates, 11 that go down to 56 as a whole channel, and for these gates as they cross. There's an amazing story we'll tell at the end about why the crossing and what happens at the beginning when the life is shocked into existence with the sperm and the egg, all the way through to the rising of the separation in the monopole, of the separation from the crystal and the monopole, and where it ends and what becomes our third eye. And it's all here in this process that guarantees a mixing. This stuff mixes up and creates a trinary vortex. That vortex becomes our third eye, and it's a literal vortex. It's an energetic frequency that once we can measure these things, we'll be measuring it, hopefully. Maybe we'll never be able to measure it, right? Maybe the scientists will never figure out ways to, we'll just have to see it in action.
It's really interesting with gate 11 and this, it's just ideas. There's just ideas, and there's another idea, and there's another idea.
Not personal.
Yeah, not personal. And we just got a bucket full of ideas. If you have the whole channel, it's a projected channel. So wait to be invited. And before you start sharing your ideas, because people either won't hear you or they'll end up like stealing your ideas. Or if you're like me and you have gate 11 just hanging, it's recognizing like those ideas are just coming in, and like don't get too attached to them. Like maybe keep like a little idea book list that you can go back to for when it's time to actually use those ideas for something, but just recognize like they're always coming in, and you don't necessarily have to chase the stimulation of trying to sell your idea, because the 11 is like looking for that 56. And I can definitely see that in myself where it just ideas coming in. And if I share them, I need to, as you said, be sure to not take it personally if somebody likes them or not, or if they're good ideas or not, or should even try them or not. They're just coming through.
We have ideas come flying into us. They're not personal, meaning there are personal ideas, there's no question, but they're not actually personal. They're not personal to the point where it means we have to do something. It means it's the start of something we might do. Turn those two things around. We don't have to do something, but there is something now that we might do, right? One is okay, and one is filled with pressure and exhaustive energy that makes us think something's wrong. You know, your ideas might fall on deaf ears into the wilderness where nothing takes place, and then you'll forget that idea. Don't be sad. It wasn't personal. It'll show back up as needed. You're already a factory of ideas that happen. Allow it to be the experiential process because it creates the rich tapestry of which ultimately 24 and 61 are going to return to and figure out. And then finally, the little child that always gets a pass in doubt and folly will do something with that's logical. We're an ongoing process. We're not a, we seem like a section of like a section of my life, your life, this life, all compartmentalized. But when you put us all together, we're an ongoing process, a grayscale of one into the other, constantly dovetailing one life into the next. And we're a tapestry. So allow it. Gate 11 surfs that tapestry and comes up with all these amazing ideas that, again, if you think about trinary code as opposed to binary code, which is everything that we compute is binary, period, and our computers and our phones and in our minds, no, it's much richer than that. It's orders of magnitude richer than that because trinary isn't just double binary or something. You added another, it's an order of magnitude richer, and allow the richness because that's what ideas become. They'll never go silently into the night when you allow the richness because it will have enriched your life, whether it got shared or not. And then the times you can share it are great. You know, that's what this is here to be done. That's, by the way, an idea isn't really anything until you can tell it in a stimulating way. You got to stimulate people with, hey, I got an idea what I think if I sharpen this, it'll be sharper. That's just, you're going to bore everyone to death. No one will do it. It's like, I got this great stone. Look, it's got this perfect little edge, and look what it does to my knife's edge. Dude, get a piece of paper. You ready? You know, and now the moment of truth. I hope my idea worked and it cuts through the dang piece of paper, right? You know what I'm talking about. Make a knife so sharp it'll just end. So one way was stimulating, and my friend might be like, really? Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, yep, let me get the last couple ones on this. See, stimulating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as opposed to just logical, the logical side, be like, nope, this sharpens out. If you want to see, I'll be glad to show you. I got all the details. It does perfect.
We could run the hypothesis.
Yeah, that's not as inviting. That doesn't invite me like, oh, I gotta do that. Yeah, maybe I want to see him sharpen it, maybe I don't. But if I say it the other way, like, dude, hang on, check this out. Now the other person is waiting to experience something with them. Experientialness is not logical process. The logical process can be experienced, but it doesn't work quite the other way. So let this be fanciful. It's going to move on and it's going to stimulate you to act out your own nature. Let it be that way and let it be goofy a little bit and do what I just said about sharpening a knife. You know, sharpening a knife isn't exciting until you make it that way because you're excited. Let it be excited, just like a realization. It's a ball of light that again comes out of this crossing over. Now, guys, keep in mind, we're crossing over a biochemical field. There's chemistry in here. Our brains are here, you know, our frontal lobe is here, our pituitary is here, all of the stuff is there. So there's a chemical crossing physically. Thought I'd mention that because we're about to cross the other way.